Nutz at Night, episode number 92. You hear how I did that? This is the show about pretty much nothing in particular. We bring some stuff that we think is of interest. And I'll tell you what, man, I am so out of the loop this week that I'm bringing nothing current, no new news. I don't even know what's going on in the tech world this week. So I'm just bringing some stuff that happened to me this week, and I hope it's of some interest. And let's see what our friend Steve D'Amico from smdcomputer.net brings. What's up?
Busy.
Yeah?
Last week I was like, actually maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I was getting a little worried. I was so few clients came in to see me. I was developing an abandonment complex.
And then what happened?
And then all of a sudden they can't get enough of me. Come in three deep. It's crazy.
Really?
Can't get it.
And you did nothing, like an extra advertising or anything? It just all of a sudden happened, huh?
You know what I think it is? It started to rain, and everybody was like at home, and they probably scratched their head and went.
Every day. Almost every day, I drive around and I look at the weather and I experience the weather and I go, why doesn't everybody want to live here? That's really how nice it is. I expected, okay, the summer's going to kill. I mean, I'm thinking the spring. Down in Florida has to be like the summer up north. That's how hot it's going to be. This spring has been beautiful. It's just gorgeous. The weather down here blows me away. I finally got my license plate, the Sunshine State. I finally got the Sunshine State license, but I've been wanting it for so long. That's actually one of the things I'm going to talk about. Why don't I just go right into that?
Sure.
Yeah? Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say that I can give you a reason why.
Yeah.
Well, at least a reason. I mean, not necessarily the best reason in the world, but one reason would be bugs the size of your head.
That's just so ridiculous.
There are bugs the size of your head.
Not where I live.
There are bugs There are bugs that could kill cats there.
Not where I live. I've lived here I've lived here almost a year. Nothing of the sort. You would have heard me talk about it. You would have heard me say, "Oh my God, last week I saw this bug who almost killed my cat." Nothing of the sort.
You don't see them because they're so big they drive cars.
I'm telling you. Make up the reasons that you will, but I really can't understand. I really like it down here, I guess what I'm trying to say. And I think I'm pushing a little bit of your buttons because I know you love. It's just actually, I'll start off with a don't like and go into this little story real quick. Since I moved down here, I'll tell you one reason why you should move to Florida. If you move from another state and you want to register your car in Florida, it costs about $400 to get the whole thing done. Now, that's not every time you want to renew your license you have to pay another $400. Just the first time. But that's enough of an amount that I literally haven't got my car registered since I moved down here, and it expired about 2 to 3 months ago. And I've been just driving it around and not really thinking about it until about 2 weeks ago. I didn't even really think about it. I've had no attention on it till about 2 weeks ago. I put my attention on it, saying to myself, I better get this registered, and I hope a cop's not behind me. Guess what happens? 3 days in a row, I get a ticket.
Oh.
Now, the first time was on the road, and the cop pulled me over, $100 ticket. The other 2 times were in a parking garage. So there's a guy that goes around the parking garage apparently looking at everybody's license plate, and he gave me, that's a $30 ticket. I guess because I wasn't moving. I don't know. I don't care. So the second day I got a ticket. I still didn't get my car registered because I just didn't. Oh, I'll tell you why I didn't in a second. But the reason's not important now. I didn't get my car registered. I pulled back in the same garage. I took the ticket he gave me. I took the ticket the cop who pulled me over gave me. I put it on my windshield to signify to the dude who's walking around, I understand my car's not registered. It's here in this garage, and I got a ticket already for it yesterday. I come back. There's another ticket on top of the ticket that I put in there. Now, you have to be the douchiest to do that to somebody, I think. And the cop who probably did that probably laughed his butt off all the way home. You guys know what I did today? Some joker put a ticket in his windshield, and guess what I did? Put another one on top of it. So that guy, if you're listening, you're just a plain, straight-up douche. I want you to know that. Anyway, that being said, it made me finally say, okay, I got to get my butt and get this thing registered. So I call up and find out what I need to get this thing registered. Or I go online or whatever. Okay, apparently I need my title, right? And I need my past registration. So I call my my lien holder, the people who I pay my car payments to get the title. And they go, yeah, we get the title, sure. We have to order it, and then we have to mail it to you, and that'll take about 2 weeks. And I go, no, just send me a PDF or something, or email it to something. Well, no, we have to mail it. I go, what, snail mail? Yeah, that's how we have to do it that way because we have to mail it out to you. And I go, no, just email it or PDF. I'm good with computers. I got it. No, we don't do that, sir. I'm like, but it's going to take 2 weeks. 2 weeks to mail me a piece of paper? It's going to take you 2 weeks to get me a piece of paper? So I let them have it. And not really being mad, just driving the point home. I reminded them what year this was. I reminded them that I better not have to fax them anything. And I reminded them it's just ridiculous that it's going to take 2 weeks to mail. Anyway, it did. It would have to. So I said, all right, order the registration, and I will wait for you to mail it to me. In the meantime, I'm afraid to drive my car now because I don't want to get a ticket when I go out anywhere. So, bright decision. I only have 2 car payments left on this car. Bright idea. I'm just going to go buy a new car. Because I've been wanting a Mustang for the longest time, and I finally said, okay, I could either not drive my car and wait for this title to come, drive my car and chance it and maybe get another ticket, or get a car I've been wanting to get. I've been meaning to get trade my car and get a new car lately, so I might as well just do it now. So this last weekend I went out looking for a Mustang. And sorry if this story goes on long, but let me just finish it off because it's well-rounded and has many facets. So I go out looking for a Mustang this last weekend. And that's the first time I went out looking for a car in about 5 years. And that's just an adventure in itself. I love it. You go to the dealership. I found a car that I like. It was a black Mustang convertible, 2010, had about 20,000 miles on it, 26,000 miles, something like that. And it really looked good to me. I mean, it was like a good deal, a cool-looking car, convertible. It was like everything I pretty much wanted. It had like the Ford Sync system and all that crap. So I took it for a test drive, ran good for being used, and I said, okay, let's talk numbers on this thing. They had it marked at like 25 grand something, and I'm thinking, okay, if it's marked at that much, it's marked at that price, they're going to knock a couple $1,000 off if I play hardball with them, you know what I mean? So I go in there and try to play a little hardball with them, and they just almost wouldn't budge, budge. And I wanted to pay $344 a month. That's what I pay on my car. That's the amount I wanted to pay. So I go in. I'm thinking I'm going to get like $7,000 for my car. I sit down with the salesman. I'm ready to talk numbers. He's like, "Well, we can give you $4,000 for your car." I was hoping. I was hoping about for $7,000. I'm like, "That's the Blue Book value." And he goes, "Well, why don't I sell my car to you for Blue Book value?" And I'm like, "Okay." Well, I'm like, "All right. Look, I'm like, it doesn't matter what the trade-in is. I don't even want to know any numbers. All I want to do is walk out of the door today, and I will buy this car if I can pay $344 a month. That's what I want my payment to be. I don't care about the numbers." Like I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, we could sit down and work out trade-in values and all this crap all day long. It doesn't matter if the bottom line means I'm going to be paying more than $344 a month. And so he's like, are you flexible on that? Now, if I said I'm going to pay I'm like, I said sorry, and I'm like, it's too much. I gotta leave, and they let me leave. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe if I go home and wait an hour, they'll call me back, or I'll wait a day and they call me back. And no, they didn't. So either
financing is tough though these days.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because there's less money out there to borrow, so a lot of companies are getting a little. A lot of finance companies, there's just less money to just lend out there, so they're much more pickier after the whole mortgage debacle.
Right, yeah, I know, but still, I found out my credit was pretty good. Hang on a second, Steve. I have to adjust the shot here because apparently I didn't put sound in that new shot we did, and they didn't hear any of the stuff I said there. So let me go change that shot.
No.
I'm sorry, guys. Silly me, silly Steve. All right, let's see. Take that.
I'm a dope. I didn't even put the chat up.
Check. Let me see. There should be sound on that shot. Check. All right, let me delete that, and then we'll add sound and see how that goes. Check. Okay, now we got it. We're good.
Ooh.
All right, so I didn't buy the car, and they didn't call me back. So I'm thinking to myself, this must be, they must not have been able to go any lower. Come to find out, I go back the next day because I couldn't find another car that I liked better than that one. I go back the next day, and the guy comes out and tells me that they priced the car wrong. It's actually $1,000 more than what I was even looking for. So I ended up not getting that car. And so after that whole weekend, Monday morning, I said, okay, me buying a car didn't work. I'm going to go get my car registered. So I went to the Department of Motor Vehicles, or whatever the hell they call it here, the tax collector's office, what they call it here. And I'm like, I'm getting my car registered. I'm saying to myself, I don't have my title. Well, know what I did, dude? Before I called, because the last place I went to get this done, they said you have to have the title. So this whole time, I'm thinking it's going to take me 2 weeks to get this title. That's why I went out looking for a new car. But I just called up again on Monday morning, and I said, I don't have my title. Is there any way I could get my car registered? She goes, okay, you don't need the title. You could just need to have a copy of your registration. She's like, it doesn't even matter if it's expired. Well, yeah, that's what she said. I
always thought it would be like that.
Yeah, my old expired registration. Well, you know what I did with my old expired registration the first time I thought I couldn't get my car registered? I threw it out.
Why?
Because I was cleaning out my car, trying to get I put all this paperwork in my car, trying to get it registered. I'm like, I'm going to need this, like a past bill and all this crap. And at the same time, I was trying to get my Florida license. So I just went, I did a cleaning of my car, and I threw out my old registration because apparently it was expired. Anyway, I go to the Department of Motor Vehicles with no title and no registration. So I pull up into the parking lot. I take the old license plate off of my car. And I walk into the Department of Motor Vehicles, wait for my little stupid number to be called, which surprisingly was only like 5 minutes. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, my God.
So I walk up to the window, and there's a skinny, like scrawny-looking dude who didn't look happy. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'm going to talk to this. I'm going to talk to this guy and see how cool he is. You know, I'm going to see first. Let me see if I'm hoping I'm get a good first impression from the guy. So I take my stuff, all my whole pile of papers, and I put it on the little table, and I go, I need to get Florida tags. And he just does one of these. He shrugs. He's like, for what? He says it just like that. He goes, for what? And he like points to my license plate. Like, what is he supposed to do with that? I go, for my car, dude. I'm like, this is my first time here. I never did this before. Just tell me what I'm supposed to bring. What am I supposed to bring? And I just gave him like antagonism right back in his face. And either I scared him or woke him up, or he respected that I wasn't going to take his crap.
Probably.
And he was nice as hell after that. So
Ooh.
He's nice. He's all nice now, and we're talking. And he's like, I need a title or your registration. I go, I threw my old registration out. I don't have my title. I'm like, here's my license plate. He's like, well, I need to have your title. So I'm like, well, I could call my lien holder, Sun East Federal Credit Union. I called them up, and I said, I need a title. I need you to fax a title over here. Can you fax a title over here? I'm just making stuff up. And they're like, no, we don't have your title. We can't fax it over. We could fax over a title form that has my title information on it. I go, good, fax that over. And the whole time, the guy's telling me, as I'm on the phone with my credit union, we need your actual title. We need your real title. That paper won't work. And I don't care. I just said, fax it over anyway. And she's like, And I could also send you a PDF. You want me? I'm like, yeah, send me a PDF and fax it. Do it both. So it comes on my PDF, and I show it to the guy on my phone. I'm like, look, there's my paper that says I have a title. He's like, but that's not really your title. And I'm like, well, they're faxing the same thing. They're faxing it over to you. And he's like, but that's not your title either. And so I said, well, go check the fax machine. And so he gets up and goes to check the fax machine. And at this time, I'm starting to panic. You know, in your head, where you just get really angry, really tight, like all wound up and panicky. I'm starting to panic a little. I'm like, frick, I'm not going to get this thing. I'm not going to get it. And then I stopped. And I took a step back, and I looked at the situation, and I said to myself, do I really want to play this game where I'm worried if I'm going to get this thing done? I think to myself, if I really want to play this game, because that's what I felt like I was like playing a game with myself. Like, how worried and wound up can I make myself? And I said, you know what? Screw it. This is a done deal. And I didn't say, I hope this gets done in my mind. I said, it's done. It's a done deal in my mind. I just said that. Not, I hope it's a done deal. Not, I hope he comes back happy or he brings me on my plate. I just said, it's done. And I pictured myself just, everything was fine. I pictured everything was done. I pictured walking out of there with my Florida Sunshine State license plate. You know what he did? He came back with my plate, with that stupid thing they faxed him. He accepted that, didn't say a word about it, wrote me all up, asked me all my questions, gave me my plate. I filled out a little survey giving the dude 5 stars for everything he did, right on the spot. I said, here, I'm giving you all 5 stars. Thanks, dude. And he's like, shook my hand. He's like, no problem. Walked out happy. I think that if I didn't stop and take a step back and played the whole I'm going to worry the hell out of this game, it wouldn't have went so smooth after that point. So that was a win for me, man. I took a win on that. And I have my Sunshine State license plate. That's the long story. It, you know, had many chapters. I hope it wasn't too boring, but I'm just happy I got a plate now. A Floridian car driver.
I wonder if you were like all like timid and like submissive there. If you're like, oh, but I really would like to drive and I can't without this. I wonder if he would have been like, well, tough, you know, and tough beep, you know, and just basically kind of told you, pointed at the, you know, showed you the door. I
think he would have. I think if I didn't match his level, his tone, right when I walked in, it would have went all different. I think so. So
did you scare him? Did you give him the impression that you just stand on his desk and scream?
I almost cursed. I think, I don't know. I actually don't know how it came across, but I was pissed off that he talked to me that way, and I had no qualms about showing it. It was bad enough that the people in the little cubicles next to him looked over at me as I was saying it. You know what I mean? You know
nice.
how
that's what it is. You gave him the impression that you might stab him in the neck. That's probably why he did it.
It worked. It was effective. That's all I have to say.
Nice.
All right, man.
That's good. I like that.
Thanks.
A story of triumphance.
It's true.
Especially in DMV, which is just the hellhole. I talked about it before. I went to DMV and what is it, 10 windows and like 10 windows and 5 fat old ladies, but only 3 of them are at the freaking at the counters accepting people. And I was there for 45 minutes. Go figure.
Dude, I know. It was like that in Philly. You know what? Here, I'm not saying this is special about Florida. Maybe they were having a good day. It was amazing. There was about 30 windows in this place. 30 of them. And you know, you go and get your number. And I sat down, and there was a ton of people sitting down. A lot. And my number got called in like 5 minutes. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you got to go in there with that attitude. That's the only way to survive and be sane. The attitude that you might stab him in the neck. No, there was no anger. Let me make this clear. When I decided everything was fine, everything was good, and this was going my way, there was no effort involved. Okay, I wasn't hoping. No effort. I just made it was just a decision, and it worked. And that, I think, is how you have to do it. If you put a lot of effort, I've talked about this before. I think if you put a lot of effort into it, well, I'm not going to work. So
we think too hard.
Seriously.
You just present this unstable kind of bite you in the face kind of look, and they kind of get scared and just do it. They're like,
no, it wasn't crazy. I didn't come off crazy. I'm certain of that. I came off direct. And no BS. But there was no craziness involved. I wasn't like reaching like in my pocket to pull something out.
I'm surprised. Usually behind those counters, they're usually like Terminators. You can't negotiate with them.
I was surprised too, to be honest. Especially after the first thing he said and his initial reaction, which is like, Where else can you act like that? Like such a douche.
Oh, the only place is DMV. I mean, what are you gonna do? Go to the alternative? What are you gonna do? Go to the competitor of the DMV?
Right.
Doesn't matter what they do. You're still
Serious.
coming back.
Exactly. It's a good point.
That's why That's why they've gotten away with everything they've gotten away with so far, and supposedly they've been worse.
Yeah, it's a good point. Never thought about that. It's a monopoly.
Oh yeah.
All right, man.
If they raise their prices on registration car, what's gonna happen? Would we just not drive anymore? It's like, registering my car is too expensive. I think I'll just take my skateboard from now on.
I think it'll be the same type of thing that's happening with gas prices. Other alternatives will arise, but not immediately. I mean, we're screwed for the time being. It's like the gas companies. What if they raise it to $5 a gallon? Are people going to stop driving? No. But there's going to be a point where they're going to say, I'm not taking this crap anymore, and start looking, and then other markets can arise. But I think it's the same type of situation.
I was reading something about the gas prices and how they do their pricing and everything. If it's not about supply and demand. I know I'm going to get a bunch of people that disagree with me. But
Is it analysts' opinions?
Yeah, it's the analysts' opinions about how expensive the next truckload will be, or the next barrel.
Right.
It's about they're speculating. They're always speculating as to how hard it's going to be to get the next one. So what they do is they inflate the price to adjust, which is really just a political way of saying they just make their own price. And I think pretty much every American has been screaming and yelling, jumping up and down, going, how are they not price fixing the market of oil, of gas? How are they not price fixing this? And they are, in a sense. I mean, in a sense, they're just going about it a roundabout way and explaining it away. But if it was actually and it was a video of they were in Congress. It was just came out. The oil executives were in Congress, and they actually got them to admit that if it was just purely based on supply and demand, what the price would be. They said the barrel of gas would be a barrel of oil would be $70, which is like significantly less than what's going on now.
What is a barrel now?
I don't know, but it's like in the 100 range. I'm pretty sure it's up there.
And they admitted that. That's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. He said, "Oh yeah, he just like kind of a matter of fact said, oh yeah, well basically it's, it'd be, but if it was just pure supply and demand, it would be this." But he's saying that these executives are saying that because there's the future of pulling it out of the ground is so uncertain that they have to inflate the price, and then. What do they do after that? Do you think they give us a refund? Oh, you know what? The next barrel that just hit the market, it turned out not to be as expensive as we thought, so we can lower the price and inflate and adjust it. No, they just call it a profit.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's amazing that they explain it all away.
Yeah, well, I think that a lot of the stocks in the market is like it's all analyst based. It really is. I mean, you can't really. That's why I think it's such a risky thing, because if it was just supply and demand with anything, it would be a sure thing. It'd be much easier to control and make reasonable estimates. But it's analysts. I mean, the power of an analyst is quite amazing. I mean, an analyst can say Apple stock's going to tank, and people will listen to him. If he's a respected analyst. It's just analysts are just, I don't know. Stupid.
It's amazing that the power of like CNBC and different like trade journals, things like that.
Right.
Because there was actually they actually do control the market. They influence it greatly. There was I saw there was some scam artists, but they had a great scam going. There was some kind of, I forget, it was some kind of magazine it wasn't a magazine. It was like it was a newspaper, and it was explaining what stocks are hot or gonna die or whatever, their opinion about the stock market. And so many people read it and believe in it that they actually work in the market according to what's written. So if they call your stock hot, it's going to just jump up.
Exactly.
It's worth more. So with these guys got a really, really good scam going. What they did was they somehow got a guy in on the inside of the magazine or the newspaper, and got to read the paper before it was before it was out in the factories, before it was trucked around and dumped on everybody's doorsteps. So what they did was they figured out what they're going to talk about. They quickly read the article, and then what they did is they bought or sold the stocks accordingly, and they were making tons of cash. It's completely illegal. Even that's illegal.
Sure.
but they got away with it for a while, and then they got greedy, and then it was just a crazy mess.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
All right, well, what else do you want to talk about?
Oh, well, I could talk about the end of the world. Have you been seeing this?
I have not experienced the end of the world. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, according to everybody, the world is just going to end. It's just a matter of time. I mean, it's either 2012 or it's going to be in a couple of days. In fact, I hope you got your vacation in. Take a look at this. We're all going to die. Rapture's
Hey,
upon us.
BuzzFeed.
I looked at a bunch of different articles on this, and this was the only one that was quick and to the point. Everything else was this like 40 paragraph thing. This one has pretty pictures too. I like pictures.
All right.
So this guy, this radio broadcaster, this old guy, Harold Camping. Yeah, that's his name, Camping. I wouldn't want to play any video games with this guy. He's behind this new he with mathematical calculations has determined that the Bible is saying that the world will end, and it just so happens to be probably after this podcast is released in audio. So it'll be according to this, it'll be May 21st.
What is that, Sunday?
Is that Sunday? Let's see.
No, it's
21st,
Saturday.
Saturday.
Damn, my parents are supposed to come by Sunday, man. I wanted to see them.
Oh, well, that's it. You're never gonna see him again, according to this guy.
He looks
Well,
reputable too. I mean, he doesn't looks like nothing is wrong with him.
Yeah, well, that's because looks are skin deep, I guess. But so anyway, so this guy, he's
No,
in
he
charge.
looks a little beaten, battered. Go ahead.
He's the charge of this thing called the Family Radio Christian Network, and he has previously predicted that the end of the world will be in 1994. Well,
Right.
we all know that was kind of not true. We're still here.
That was a
But,
false alarm.
I mean, he wasn't right. You see, the end of the world was going to be in the year 2000. Oh wait, that didn't work out either.
Well, here's what he says about 1994. Harold says, I thought that at the time there was a possibility it might be 1994, and so I wrote a book, 1994 ? But I put a big question mark after it, and in the book it also indicated that 2011 was also a good possibility. He also says, it's a learning curve like with anything. The first time someone rode a bicycle, if it didn't have training wheels, they'd fell over, and you have to get more experience. Oh, okay, so he didn't take into consideration the learning curve. That's why that's how he can explain away that debacle.
I guess. But anyway, so the rapture's coming. So if you're not a believer, you'll be around. But all the people that don't believe, well, if you don't believe, you still be here. But if you do believe, then you're just going to go flying up into the air. And I think it's supposedly happening on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Well, so we better get a nice early.
Around 6 p.m. local time. So depending.
Okay, but 6 o'clock. But what about time zones?
Yeah, 6 p.m. local time hour in each time zone.
And he's California, so that means that what is it? It's gonna be 3 o'clock. Damn, 3 o'clock. It's gonna be here.
I know, man. Couldn't wait till the freaking day to just. Couldn't wait for people like to finish up their day.
What about? I mean, dinner, right?
This is true, man.
You'd be able to eat dinner.
People go out. I mean, people make plans for Fridays. Oh wait, no, Saturdays.
This is not very accommodating.
No, it's actually quite rude.
Yeah, they should have picked a different time. I'm really upset by that. Anyway, so what will happen? There will be a great earthquake. So everybody jump in the bathtubs right around that time. And in the biggest earthquake in the history of Earth. That's amazing. You're going to float into the air. Oh yeah, that's right. Which is only going to be 3% of the population.
Really?
Yep. That's what they're claiming.
Damn,
and then
sucks.
a big hand will come out, and a big hand will come out of somewhere. I'm not sure where, and it actually zap the Earth with electricity.
After the earthquake?
So yeah, sometimes, and then the Earth. But this is after the earthquake. See, after the Earth, the earthquake will happen after all the people go up in the air, and then what happens is we all suffer in like squalor and hell and whatever hellish conditions until God finally decides to push the self-destruct button on Earth.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if it's an actual button, but according to this, it's actually going to be his finger, and he's going to point at the actual Earth and zap it, which is kind of interesting because I always thought he lived in the clouds and would, but this makes that not true.
Well, where did you hear he lived in the clouds?
When I was a kid, that's what they used to say.
Okay, well, this is the real information. So now you do stand corrected.
So, anyway, so apparently he's higher than the clouds. So that's not going to work there.
This sucks in so many ways. I mean, did you make plans for this weekend? I know I did.
I did too. Looks like I'm gonna have to break them.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say, but except they could have consulted us. You know, they could have like given some scheduling. I mean, 6 p.m. There's lots of just bad points about this. So.
Yeah, this isn't good. So, did you see the last one? Did you see the Pope? That's a good picture of the Pope.
This one here. Good luck. Is that a real picture?
Yes, it is.
He looks like he just came out of a Green Day concert. That's a horrible picture. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Anyway, he almost looks like he had Steve Buscemi eyes there. All right. Well, might as well make the best out of the show with the limited time we have. So thank you guys for sticking with us, even though there's only,
with
short
time
amount
so
of time.
Precious.
Seriously.
Yeah, with time so precious, it's amazing that you guys are willing to stay with us.
Well, maybe because you told us about it, people are thankful at least that they owe you the time at least to finish off the show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Oh, here's another thing that's not going to be able to happen. The next thing I wanted to talk about. Here's the question for all you folks out there, meaning guys, girls, whoever you are. Do you want to know how to podcast? I know I've been talking about it for a while, making a product about podcasting. Well, the time has come. I wish it didn't happen after this Saturday, but
you're not gonna be able to do anything.
I'm not going to be able to do it. But let me just tell you about it just for the heck of it, because I have it in my notes. And if the earthquake doesn't wipe us out and the giant finger doesn't zap us, we could still do it.
I hope you're not going to be accepting any checks because they won't clear in time.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's just see what happens. What's going to happen is here's how we're going to do it. If you want to know exactly what I do to podcast, everything I've learned the past couple years, how I started Podnutz, how you could do something similar, how I do the camera angles, the green screen, the audio, how I got guests for the shows, cameras, everything. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of stuff. Everything I know about podcasting. What we're going to do is have a podcasting webinar weekend. It's going to be June 25th and June 26th, Saturday and Sunday. It's a 2-day event. Starts at 10, ends at 5, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, the 25th, and 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday, the 26th. It's a all over the internet deal. You tune in, you join the webinar. I go through the whole procedure. We're going to do from 10 to 12. We're going to take a little break. Then we're going to do from like 12:30 to whatever 3:30. Take a little break and then go to 5. And we're going to do that both days. And we're going to cover everything from how to start your podcast equipment, how to set up a website, RSS feeds, putting on iTunes, getting guests, getting listeners. I'm telling you, everything I know. That's why it's going to take so long. I mean, it's going to be like a 12-hour big bulk thing in the end. And you can watch live. It's all going to be live broadcasted. The cool thing about joining live is there's going to be a Q&A session afterwards, and you guys could either type in the chat. We might even take live calls, and we're just going to have like extended Q&A sessions. So that's one reason to tune in live. If you can't make those days, don't worry. This is going to be completely recorded, and it's going to be released as a video package and also in DVD form after the fact, sometime after that day, those days. So I just wanted to make that announcement. If you're interested, it's probably going to be $50 for the whole package, the whole deal. I don't know exactly what's going to include yet. I just set the date now. I'm going to get all the particulars worked out this weekend. But if you are interested in this and you want to check it out and you want me to send you more information once I know, just go to howtopodcast.biz. That's the site that's going to have all the buy now buttons, registration things, whatever, is going to be on that site. Right now, it's just an email box with your name and email address. Fill that out if you're interested. I will contact you as soon as more information is confirmed and made concrete. You won't be spammed if you enter your name and email on that list. It goes right to me. The only thing you're going to receive about this is information on the podcasting product. And that's what we're going to do. I think it's the best way to do it. I think it's going to be the most fun. It's going to be intensive. It's going to be comprehensive. And it's going to be everything. I'm not going to leave anything else on this, anything out on this. And if I do leave anything out, that's what the Q&A session is about. Guys say, Steve, what about this? You said you were going to talk about this. Oh, yeah. Well, here we go with this. Lalo's going to be here to help me. Hamrad's going to be here to help me. They're both going to have cameras. I'm going to have cameras pointing this way, and everything's going to be documented. It's going to be awesome. I'm pretty excited. So I hope you guys, if you want to know how to podcast and do what we do at Podnutz, I'm telling all, and hope you join us. So go to howtopodcast.biz, sign up, and I'll give you more information as we know. What do you think about that, Steve D?
That's great. That's awesome. I didn't know that you can do that.
Yeah, I decided. You know, I'm sitting here busily making how to podcast videos, and there's just something lacking. I mean, I didn't have any feedback, which I usually have when I do a podcast. There's like people in the chat. There's people sending me emails. There's the forums. And this, I think, is the best correct way to do it because it's most like an actual podcast. It's basically like me podcasting on how to podcast. So, but it's going to be closed. It's not open for everybody, and it is a pay thing because this is basically what's going to be supporting me and Podnutz and continuing to keep the wheels rolling and the whole thing here. So, yes, I'm charging, but I think it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool. So you should tune in.
Yeah. I might.
All right. Well, what do you want to talk about, my friend?
Oh, I like this is Facebook stupidity. I actually started picking up Facebook again and kind of looking at it, and I kind of abandoned Facebook like MySpace. I pulled a MySpace on Facebook personally.
When?
And I don't know, for the past like maybe 4 months or so, or maybe even longer. I just kind of stopped even bothering. I was like, bah, just dropped like a hat.
Well, what did you do on it? Did you have it was your name or it was your business? Just my personal Facebook. Which was weird because I really very passive. I'm real passive on Facebook. Well, it was at least. I don't know. I just kind of sign up and went, all right, here we go. Plugged in my information. And then boom, boom, boom. All these people contacted me. I was like, whoa, all these people I remember. And then a lot of people I don't remember. Yeah, it's true.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then I'd post things, but nobody would give a crap.
Right.
I was like wondering, well, most people feigned interest in anything I posted, even if it was really, really out there. And I tried to get more and more crazy as time goes on, but still nobody really seemed to really care. So I just kind of abandoned it. Just kind of lost interest, really, more than anything. So I kind of picked it up again, just kind of playing around and screwing around with it. And I thought this was kind of interesting. This inspired. I was inspired by this article because this is how I feel like on Facebook. This is an article about how this guy, this is an old article.
Is it BuzzFeed? BuzzFeed?
No.
I'm gonna do that to you every time. I just think it's too funny, even though I wore it out. No, it's okay. This is time.com. 25 things I didn't want to know about you.
And this is like a kind of this is just a bunch of stuff that he learned on Facebook about his friends and family, and just was like, I just didn't need to know this. Like somebody wrote that they eat tacos with a fork. I was fat in middle school. The wake of the heart has yet to subside.
I keep forgetting that Barack Obama is our president.
That's pretty lame.
I have been pooped on by a monkey.
That's a good update. I mean, I have to say, but you have to provide evidence. There has to be picture evidence of monkey poop on a shoulder at least, or something of the sort. I mean, and if it was a headshot, that would make it even better.
Okay.
Video would be just the greatest video every time. It would be bigger than Rebecca Black.
Shut up, dude. You're taking this too far. I swear. I tell you, you want to get Steve talking. You want to get Steve excited. Say poo. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And then he's got He just takes right off. It's just like his catalyst. What else we got here, dude? When I finally told my now fiance that I liked him, as in liked him, I drunkenly gave him the Anchorman line, "I want to be on you." He had only seen the movie once and had no idea what it was from. That's pretty funny. I was thinking about that line the other day because I think somebody mentioned what's her name, Christina Applegate or whatever. Isn't she in that movie? I think she's
yeah, she was. Yeah.
All right. What else? What else?
That movie's subtly funny. Like if you think it's funny how like men act and especially old the old school days on the news, it is very funny movie.
For some reason, that's one of my favorites. I can watch it over and over and over. That's one of those movies, and there's only a few of these I can just have on a loop and just literally loop it and not mind that it's playing all the time in the background. His friend, who's the guy? I can't even remember his name now. I can't.
Steve Carell character?
No, not the other guy. Brian. Who is he? Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's character. I think he was my favorite.
My favorite was Steve Carell.
Brick Tomlin.
Yeah, my favorite is him because especially at the end of the movie when it's revealed that he's actually retarded.
Yeah.
And he says like really stupid things throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, he's great.
That was, and you're just like he's in a scene, he just does something stupid, and you're like, what the hell? And then at the end you find out that he is actually technically clinically retarded, and nobody cared to notice. He
was saying this while he was putting mayonnaise in a toaster, wasn't he? If I remember correctly.
That was great.
Any other good lines from this article? Not from BuzzFeed.
Just like stupid stuff, but it's so it's classic Facebook oversharing. Yeah. That's what I call it, oversharing. When you just like when somebody tells you something, and you're like, and you just like all you can do is just keep your eyes open and stare at them like, oh, I really never wanted to know that. I want, or you kind of think to yourself, I want to unknow that. Can I push the erase button somehow on this in my mind?
I know what you mean, especially number 25. Sometimes I think pee smells like Cheerios. I'll tell you why I'm not a big fan of Facebook. When I was in high school, I was a nerd, and I didn't go to any parties. I don't think not one. And I was resentful for years after that. I never got invited to parties. I didn't hang out with cool people because I was in nerdy classes. I was in the classes that were supposedly like AP classes, which were way over my head. I had so many misunderstood words in those classes. I didn't know what the hell was going on. But anyway, that's how my high school years went. I didn't enjoy them, not at all. So when I get on Facebook, all people from high school are there to remind me how miserable I was.
Yes.
I just lost interest in it that way. And the people aren't bad people. I'm not saying that, but it wasn't a fun time for me. There was no nostalgia to be had. How people first join Facebook and all this nostalgia comes just flooding in on them like a ton of bricks. Oh, I remember Bob. Hey, Bob, remember when you did this in the cafeteria? And like, not for me. Not for me. College a little bit. High school, forget it. I'm happy here in the present. So I think that's why I never really embraced Facebook that much, to be honest. Now, what were you cracking up about? What's in there? What else?
I was listening to you, but I heard everything you said. But
no, dude, I'm not accusing you of that. I'm not accusing you of that. I just want to know what's funny in here.
I read this and then it sank in, and this is just a genius. This is just pure genius.
Yeah.
It's 23. My friends say that when they shave my back, I purr like a walrus. What the hell? I mean, I feel like I just went on an acid trip just following that.
I know, because he doesn't say like when he shaves his back. When they shave his back, I purr like a walrus.
Yeah, that's some visual right there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know walruses purr.
I didn't know either.
I'm picturing walruses and men shaving another man's back. It's creepy and scary.
All right, we might have found something that topped poo for Steve D.
Yes, this gets me going.
Oh man.
Oh, this is something you don't want to hear on Facebook. I cried when Spock died in Star Trek 2.
These are pretty good, actually, man. These are pretty funny.
I know.
I like that one. All right, I just want to take this more on a artistic, tangent here.
Did you say autistic?
Artistic.
Okay.
I picked up a program at Best Buy. It was on sale, and I always wanted to try it, but I never did, and I really enjoy it. And it's called Music Maker 17 from a company called Magix, Magix. They actually make a professional recording program called Samplitude. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. Anyway, I picked up Music Maker 17 because I always picked up the box when I was in Best Buy and looked at it, and it always had cool colors. And I love the I love the way the user interface looked, because it always had these cool colors of and different instruments you could play, virtual instruments and keyboards and virtual saxophones and all this cool stuff. And I'll tell you, I already have a ton of music programs, but I wanted to try this one. So I bought it. It was on sale for like $40, installed it, played with it for like 10 minutes and go, I think I just blew my money. And then the next day I said, let me give this another chance. And I'll tell you what, I really had a lot of fun with this program. It's really cool. If you guys are not musicians, or even if you are, that's the cool thing about it. You can make some cool sounds with this, because they give you so many loops and already pre-made things that you just piece them together like a puzzle and you come up with your own music. I was thinking, I had some good ideas of making some real good podcasting intros and outros with just the stuff that this program came with. And it's cheap. And that's one of the cool things about it. Another thing that really I was really impressed with is this thing is comprehensive. I have a lot of professional music recording programs like Logic, Pro Tools, PreSonus, Studio One that I use here, which I actually like better than both of those other programs. This is like a fraction of the price, this Music Maker. And it has a lot of the stuff that these other programs have, like a lot of these features. It's not like a little toy like a Casio keyboard you buy at Walmart for $20. It really is. It's really got a lot of cool stuff. You can make some pro-sounding stuff with this. So I was just playing with it for the last 3 or 4 days. I'm really impressed. I am having a ball with it. I'm actually enjoying it more than my other programs. So I wanted to bring it up on this show. Let me see if this video will play anything. Here you go. Make your own music. I never watched this video. I don't know how cheesy it is. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, so it comes with all these drum tracks. You could add guitar in there. That sounds like a bass. That guy's just an idiot, but the concept's cool. See, look how cool the colors are in that. No, not that. But I mean, hear all these instruments and stuff? You could literally cobble a song together, and you could do what you just heard in probably 10 minutes with this program. And you could actually change the pitch, and there's a lot of ways to flex the sound and make it sound the way you want it. It's not so cookie cutter that everybody that buys this program, all their songs are going to sound exactly the same. You can actually bend and flex and change tones and stuff. So even if you don't know about music, you can still kick ass with this program. So I'm really impressed. For $40, it is an awesome deal if you're interested in getting into making music. I highly recommend it.
I have a dumb question for you.
Yes.
Do you need a keyboard or something not keyboard, like a music keyboard?
No. You can hook up a keyboard, like a MIDI instrument to it if you want, or a controller. You know MIDI. Did you ever hear MIDI, Steve? No?
I've heard of the term MIDI. I remember MIDI music back in '94.
Yeah, well, we don't want to get into MIDI, but a lot of those keyboards you see usually have a jack in the back of them that say MIDI, and you can plug that into a program like this and play the keyboard and control the program with it. You don't even have to. You don't even have to have that. What?
But I don't have that port on my computer.
No, dude, it's all USB now.
Oh,
but
I have that. I have USB ports.
Shut up. I'm saying you don't even have to have that. You can play using the keys on your laptop. All you need is your laptop, and you could play notes using the keys on your laptop. It has a little
really?
It has a little virtual keyboard, so you can play a keyboard like a piano on your laptop keys. Yeah, you should check it out. You should check it out, Steve.
I would just embarrass myself.
Well, I'd like to hear that.
I'm sure you would.
Okay, man, your turn, and then we'll do you once, and then we'll do what do you like, what don't you like.
Sure. I figured I'd talk about a client I had. Um, I think it's kind of an interesting story because it was kind of partially not computer repair, and it was just one of those moments when you kind of realize, hey, I kind of know what I'm doing. This is awesome. I feel like a professional. It's like, it's weird. Doing this stupid business, you like when doing computer repair, you go through that awful roller coaster where like some days you don't know, you don't know why you do what you do, and you should just quit and just flip some burgers at McDonald's. And then other days you just feel like you're just king of the world.
Yes, super genius.
Yeah, you feel like super genius, and you feel like you have a freaking S on your chest and a cape on your back.
Right.
Well, I mean, this isn't necessarily a, Superman story, but I partially kind of got lucky, I guess. But anyway, so I had this client. I got a call from a business down the road from me. This guy, he's frantically calls me. He's like, he didn't say his wife. He has this. He had a bookkeeper in this newer business that is just having all sorts of problems, and they had a steady stream of technicians, up to 3 before me, and they all came in and just messed everything up and didn't actually solve the problem at hand. And now I'm like 4th in line, and now which is the perfect time because now they're bitter. And now that they're all guns blazing as soon as I walk through the door,
Yeah, untrusting of all technicians.
Oh yeah, now they just, I mean, the lady I met, she almost like wanted to kill me when I came in. I told her that I'm not sure what the hell she's talking about. So I come in and she's like, what her situation was, they hired her to be the bookkeeper. They really want her to be the bookkeeper. And they're trying to make her happy as best they can. They bought a new computer in October. They bought QuickBooks so they can manage it. She starts just literally out of nowhere just jumping into QuickBooks. And yes, QuickBooks is absolutely needed in this situation. They're running a very big 7-day business. It was basically a mechanics shop. I'll just put it that way, but a busy one. And so what she did was so I come in there and I'm like, I'm trying to piece together facts out of just a barrage of, and then this guy did this, and this thing crashes, and it does that, and it comes. I'm like, oh my god! And she's like, and I can't. And she's trying to show me advanced QuickBooks things. Like I input information here, and it doesn't show up there. Why wouldn't it show up there if it's supposed to? If I input it in here, and I don't understand why is these totals all wrong? That's not real. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, lady, I'm not an accountant. I'm not even a bookkeeper. I'm nothing. What the hell? And then she's like, and then she's like, she tells me that she inputted all this information in QuickBooks, like a day's worth of information, and then it crashes. So then she's a day behind. So then she does 2 days, the day before, the day she's behind, and then the next day she does it all together. She puts all the information in, and then the thing crashes again. She says it crashes, does a force close, updates, and then does an update for her computer. I'm like, what? And then she's like, she's just so upset. She literally jumps out of her chair and like a little bit of a hissy. She yells, I cannot get a bookkeeper to come in here and help me with QuickBooks. Nobody will do it. She's like, I need somebody now. And she's pointing at the desk. And I'm like, whoa. Right? And I'm like, the lady, I said, listen, I'm a computer repair technician. I'm not a QuickBooks expert. I don't know, I don't. And she's like, oh, and then she's like, now she's like done with me, And I'm like, oh, okay, well, hold on a second. Okay, but you need a lot more help than just that. And I'm like, let's just see what I can do. So I start, playing with her computer, and it's really slow for like a very new computer. I'm like, what's going on with this thing? And then I see Computer Associates is installed, and I'm like, that thing is Computer Associates antivirus, I think is probably the worst on the market.
Really?
It's just a horrendous piece of garbage. But anyway, it's installed, and I'm like, even that would make this computer run this slow. What the hell? And all the technicians before me, they did all sorts of things. One of them tried to fix QuickBooks by doing system restore, which is laughable because that won't fix QuickBooks, but whatever. And he actually set the computer back as far as he can, and then barraged her with like a ridiculous amount of like updates and all sorts of nuts, and it was driving her nuts because it kept updating and shutting her down. I was like, oh my god. And then another guy did this. Another guy he installed he spent no time trying to figure out her problems and all his time mounting a cable modem to the wall and using all these zip ties and screws and everything. I'm like, oh, it was kind of nice what he did, but this guy obviously was afraid of the computer and more interested in mounting wire. I was like, holy cow. I'm like, where did you get these people? She's like, I used the phone book. I'm like, how'd you find me? Well, I don't even know what the hell. So anyway, so I just immediately I'm like, it's probably our hard drive because I don't know about. I know you're out of the loop, but that's all I've been seeing is dead hard drives everywhere.
Really?
So it's just unbelievable. Everything is just dying. All these hard drives are terrible these days. And so I got bad Western Digital out of the box last week. But anyway, so I just test her hard drive. I just loaded C tools and boom, just loaded that up and looked, and undeniably bad hard drive. Right, just a quick scan immediately identifies the hard drive is bad. And then so I'm like, okay, well that's definitely an issue. And then she's like, she's still trying to suck me into the vortex of QuickBooks, trying to get me to analyze what's wrong with her books. And I'm like, listen, I'm arguing with this lady. I'm like, listen, lady, I can't tell you how to run the books in this business, okay? That would be malpractice. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, malpractice because I'm not an accountant. So anyway, she's like, So I was like, I'll get somebody. She's like, I need somebody now. So I just freaking I jump on Crossloop.
I knew you were gonna get your little remote friend on there.
And so I go on Crossloop, right? And just like last time, right? I look for my little friend in Nebraska, by the way, and her name is Colleen, and she's in Nebraska, and she's a QuickBooks expert and a bookkeeper. I'm thinking, what are the odds that she'll even be online with this stupid thing, right? So I go and look, and sure enough, there she is saying it online. I'm like, no way. So I message her, like, what are the odds that she's going to be sitting there, you know? So I'm like, I need help. And she's like, oh, I can help you right away. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Right, this is now I'm going to look like Superman here. Right? So I'm like, I'm getting all excited. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, call me. And I just throw my number. And she calls me right up, and I'm like, hey, remember me? And she's like, yeah. We're getting a little reunion. I'm like, I got a job for you. And then I just hand the phone off, and they just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and she felt so happy. Two hens in their little hen house, just back and forth,
right.
The same age and everything. I mean, they're all just getting along so well, and she's solving half of her cookbook's problems before he can even really get comfortable. I was surprised, and then I'm like, I had to kind of stop them all and go, listen, ladies, you're working on a dying hard drive. We're gonna have to shut this down. And so now I solved that problem, and then today I did the second half, which was cloning the hard drive. But for anybody out there, quick tips on dying hard drives. I'm seeing them all over the place. Scan everything you see. In my opinion, every hard drive you see is suspect, and you can clone them if you catch them early enough. That's what I'm noticing. Are
you noticing patterns of brands, or how, like, maybe drive sizes? Is it only the huge ones, or?
Yes, I'm noticing it's not necessarily huge ones, but it's just like anything. It seems like everything it's everything I see is like 80 gigs and up. So, but it's even
80,
newer drives.
80 gigs? 80?
Well, yeah, I mean, like 80 gigs and up. It seems like the 40 gigs really run forever. It seems like it. I could be wrong, but
I thought you were going to get into terabytes. These are 80 gig drives are old.
Well, this particular drive
laptop
320. This was a desktop hard drive 320. She got the October in October.
Okay.
I mean, she got the computer in October. I'm double speaking. She bought the computer in October, and the hard drive's dead now. And then last week I had, this is another bad hard drive story, and it's quick. Lady comes in, drops a computer, and she says, I don't know what the hell, I'm like, okay. So I loaded up. It's SP0 Vista. I'm like, oh, right.
Damn,
not doing any updates. It's just crashing and just flaking out. I'm like, whoa. And the hard drive is just like messed up beyond belief. So I'm like, wow, whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, new hard drive. Actually, no. The hard drive it was really slow. The hard drive was all messed up, but that was later. I got it. It was just acting really terrible. And SP0, I look around. There's almost nothing installed. I mean, just very few apps, nothing exciting at all. Just like stuff she's downloaded, like iTunes apps, things, real simple apps like that. I'm like, there's nothing on here, just documents and pictures. So I call up and say, listen, I'm gonna do a format reinstall on this. You'll be happier. And she's like, yeah, that would be great. Format reinstall, put all data back. Computer worked beautifully through the entire thing, no problems whatsoever. I give it back to her. She calls me up 3 days later. She tells me it's just as bad as it was. I'm like, what? So I get it back, look, dying hard drive. I'm like, oh,
Damn.
how did I miss it? But I mean, I didn't scan for a bad hard drive, but it was functioning perfectly fine.
Right.
So, but it wasn't reliable. There you go. So I pop a new one. I pop in a brand new hard drive at a retail box, slap it in there, do a clone, check for problems. It was a couple of problems as expected from working from a bad one. Then I send her on her way again. She calls me up. It's just as bad. What have you done? You didn't do anything. She tells me on the phone. She goes, "Are you like some kind of scam artist or something?" That she tells me. But she's like a family, like a close, like that. She's a friend of a family friend. So she knows I'm not completely like insane,
Right.
So I was like, she's like, I don't know what to say. So I was just like so embarrassed. I'm like, okay, just bring it back. And now she's pretty much lost complete confidence in me. So I take the thing back with the brand new hard drive on this system, and I scan the brain. I'm like, what are the odds? But I'm like, what the hell? So I pull the thing out and test it, and what does it come up with? Fail. Bad on Crystal Disk Info and C-Tools.
Really?
That's a brand new hard drive the client was using for a week, and I don't think she dropped it. I said, by any chance, did you drop this computer or something? I'm looking at the case. There's no scratches on it or anything.
Right.
She's like, I'm like, you didn't, right? And she goes, no. I'm like, okay, I didn't think so. And then I'm like, so here we go. So I just pop another drive in there. Yeah, no, it's under warranty. Yeah. So that's it's a barrage for me right now, and it's been this way for a few weeks now. It's just bad hard drive land of the bad hard drive.
I think it's only going to get worse as they become more and more condensed with whatever head or sectors.
Scott's mentioned it and he said that on my hard drive died. He said that that they seem to be sacrificing quality for speed and capacity. I guess the only way to really get around that is what he said was to just spend a few more bucks and buy what was it, the commercial what is it?
Like
Enterprise
industrial or enterprise or whatever, the good stuff.
The good stuff.
It's true. And he mentioned this a year ago. I mean, this is a trending problem.
It's a big trending problem, and I think I've been resisting the urge, but I think every system every hard drive, if it's got a hard drive, I'm gonna test it on my bench. Everything. It don't matter what the problem is. I don't care if they came in with a bad LCD.
It sucks. Now you have to add that to like the regimen.
Yep.
Takes time.
Yeah. And so I got another quick one. So this same lady. This is cool. I thought this is cool. She's like this is a newer business, like maybe 7 months old or something like that. And she's like, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. And she mentions that she's doing really well on Facebook advertising. I'm like, wow, that's pretty interesting. I'm like, you should try.
First time I heard about that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I can't believe that works. I always heard terrible things about it. She's like, no, we're really getting business. I'm like, oh, okay. So then she's back and forth about it. I'm like, I should show you, show me that. And she showed me a little bit, and then I showed her Google Maps. I'm like, oh, you should see the Google Maps. So let's look up to see what you look like on there, right? I pull it up, and holy crap, the worst reviews I've seen in a long time. Some of them, not a lot of bad reviews, but some.
What's the name of the company?
I can't say that, unfortunately. I would love to, but I can't.
I want to look them up after the show, all right?
Yeah.
I love bad reviews.
So it turns out that the bad reviews are from the old business. So we looked up the new business name, right, with the old owners. Okay, we typed in the new business name and found the old business listing with the new business name and all the past clients hating their guts. Some of the most vicious reviews I've seen, like scam artists, scumbags. I mean, just like really vicious language, long paragraphs, like stories about this and that, and just horrible, horrible things. And I was just like, oh, and she was horrified and devastated. She's like, this is gonna ruin my business. She was all upset. And I'm like, what the hell? And everybody's like panicking in the store and everything. I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? So I'm like, I gotta think of something, right? So what I decided to do is, anyway, she's like, it turns out the business is verified business. I'm like, okay. So what you do is you can claim your business on Google Maps, and or if you claim it in an area called Google Places. It turns out it's claimed already. So that means somebody with a Google account claimed it. She says that it was a Yellow Book lady that does her Yellow Book advertising. So I'm like, what? So then I'm like, all right. So we found her Google listing and everything. Blah blah blah. We signed in and got the password, everything right, logged in. And when I came up with this idea, I think it's a pretty good idea. What we decided to do, and it's legitimate, right? What we decided to do was rename the current listing back to the old business name, so that the current bad reviews, and they're only bad reviews, and they're only of that time period for the old owners, just put the old business name with the old business information and delete the phone number. And then and we're going to flag it as, we did that already, and we're going to flag it as being closed. And then the new business with a different business name, different owners, different employees, different everything.
Good.
We're going to put the new name, put the actual name there, put all the business information properly, and then she's gonna promote that business listing instead.
Good idea.
And so that's the only way, because that's the only way to purge, and that's the only way to purge all those bad listings, bad reviews. And it's legitimate to purge those ones, and we're lucky because it is truly a different business. So it's, morally correct.
Very good.
Yeah, those are pretty good. And it's a pretty neat service. It was really important to her. And she was so happy and so grateful that I was able to solve that problem. And it had nothing to do with bad hard drives, which I was happy. I was happy to get away from that. I'm sick and tired of doing bad hard drives.
You're like the wizard this week. I mean,
I got lucky.
You're handling people, handling the problems. I like it.
Well, I have my moments of problems. I have my moments where I'm just not talking about them.
Okay. All right, well, ask me what I like.
Yeah, what do you like?
I like working out, exercising. Now, you gotta realize, if you don't exercise, it's almost like eating salad, okay? Eating salad is something that if you don't do it for a really long time, you abhor the thought of it. You don't want to do it. It not something that's appealing to your taste buds. Thinking about it is like, I'd rather eat something, fattening or candy or whatever. You just don't want salad if you don't eat it for a while. You just lose a taste for it. I do anyway. Working out is like eating salad, because once you do eat a salad, and then maybe another one, you start to just it's so easy to eat salad now, and you kind of like it. That's the way it is for me. Well, working out's the same way. Once you start working out, your body wants to work out more. And while you're working, all I do is an elliptical machine right now. I have an elliptical machine, and I use it almost every day. And sometimes it's so hard for me to just get up on the thing and start moving. 5 minutes into it, though, you just feel so good. You're just in this groove. It's not painful. It's not work. You're just cruising, and it's a great feeling. And once I get in that zone, I love it, because you're in motion, and it's really good for you, and you just feel really good. So I've been doing it almost for a month straight now, almost every day, maybe a little longer. And I'm going to continue doing it, losing weight, feeling good, and brings me back to like when I was younger. I feel like that when I'm in the middle of a workout, and I'm like, I'm gonna go really hard right now, and to go like for as fast as I can for like 1 minute, and I do that, and you're like sweating, your heart's, but you just feel great. It's a good thing.
It's endorphins.
Oh.
And they say endorphins can be addictive, and which explains it. I think very simply explains why some people are just workoutaholics. Like they just have to work out, and they're they're like fitness freaks. It's because they're kind of addicted to endorphin, which is kind of a good thing.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing. If you're going to be addicted to something,
might as well be doing something good.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll give you my tip for actually getting into the groove here, because I've tried this many times in the past to work out and lose the weight. What really works for me, right, is about 6:30 every day. I walk outside in my porch, lanai, whatever you want to call it. I walk outside and I stand up and I look out into the open. Like I have this little retention pond in my backyard and there's trees and nature and crap. I look at it and I just walk around and I just stand there with my arms folded and I just look out through the screen. And after doing that for about 5 minutes, I feel like working out. Whereas if I sat and looked at a computer and then said, okay, I'm going to go straight from this computer to work to the elliptical machine, it never happens. What you have to do is just get some space, get out of your head a little bit, and then you actually feel like working out. If I didn't do it that way, I would never get on that machine. Like if I was done this podcast, I would never go straight from this podcast to the machine. I have to go out and like get some space. That worked for me more than anything I could possibly think of as far as making the bridge from being sedentary to actually moving is doing that. Just getting up, standing up, just looking out in the like open area and just chilling out for like 5-10 minutes. And then you actually, believe it or not, you want to work out after that. You know, get fresh air. It's my successful action. Let's just put it that way. That's what I like. How about you? What do you like?
I like it when I deliver a computer and I'm driving away and I'm not even 20 minutes late. It's only nearly 20 minutes since I've left the client and my phone rings and it's their phone number and you recognize it because you just came from there.
Oh, I hate that.
I like it when that happens, when I pick up that phone, right, and you realize that they just butt dialed you.
Oh, that's so awesome.
That's a good feeling. It's a really good.
That's a don't like turned into an extreme like.
Yeah.
With a happy like a happy ending.
I really like that when that happens. That's exactly what happened to me today.
Super awesome feeling. It's like it's toying with you, you know? You're like, oh man. It brings you, you like brings you real low, and then it makes you feel that much better when it's a false alarm. I love it. I love it. I'm tracking.
Nice little roller coaster.
Yeah, I'm tracking with you there. All right. Ask me what I don't like.
Yeah, what do you don't like?
I don't like. What's up, kitty cat? Meowing down there. I don't like. I don't like having to order food, especially at like a fast food window, where I have to alter the pre-configured, pre-made standard way that they do something, because you're always like you run the risk like immediately 50% chance your order's gonna be wrong. Like if you go to Burger King and say give me a Whopper, they give you a Whopper. But if you say give me a Whopper and like hold the ketchup,
oh, you just broke their pattern.
I broke it, like, dude. And I don't like mayonnaise, I don't like mustard, and I don't like ketchup, and I dread going through these drive-thrus. And I've just gotten into the habit where after I get my food, I pull over into a spot and I check it, because I've just been screwed too many times. But the worst is at this place called Buffalo Wild Wings. You have that up there?
Oh yeah, I've seen that, but I've never been in there.
Yeah, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings. I ordered 6 wings to go. I actually ate a meal and I wanted 6 wings to go, so it was not like I just went in and ordered 6 little wings and left. I finished the meal eating there and I ordered 6 wings to go. I bring it home and it's 3 tacos. That was the worst mess up I ever. But. Yeah, just at like burgers at like Wendy's and these places, they have this thing about continuing to put mustard, even when it's written on the receipt, no mustard, no mayo or something. So I hate having to put them through that and test them in such a way where they see if they're going to mess up my order. I would like to just be able to order everything standard, but I just don't like a lot of that stuff. I wish I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah?
I agree with you.
Good. What do you not like?
I don't like the fact that there's not enough crazy people in the world.
Nah, that better not be your not like.
It's true. There's just not enough crazy people. You know what? Crazy people, I think, and everybody's so upset when there's crazy people around. And I just have to tell everybody, it's just your perspective. You know, crazy people are here for a reason, to entertain us. Okay. Have you seen this video yet? This video is making the rounds.
Okay, let me load it up.
It's definitely one of my favorite videos. Unfortunately, it's unfortunately the audio is terrible on this, but we can describe it for everyone.
Okay, here we go. Man licking his shoes on a New York subway. Is there any audio in this?
There's audio, but it's just stupid audio.
Oh, well, for some reason it's lowered all the way on my thing here. Hang on, let me raise it up. Okay, man licking his shoes on New York subway. This looks ridiculous. Oh my god. It's a dude just freaking licking his shoes like a cat.
Yes. The best.
He's literally licking them clean.
He's just licking away. He like literally forces that shoe into his tongue.
Oh man, he's licking the bottoms even.
Yeah, he actually is. Must look good.
This guy is like freaking nuts.
I'll put better people now that we've seen this.
What, Steve?
You're better people now that we've seen this.
Yeah. He's literally going. He's still going. It's like a minute straight of speed licking his shoes. All right. All right, he's done. Is he done? What's he doing? He's taking off his other shoe. No, he's... What's he doing? Cleaning his foot off? Can't see.
Not sure. I never made it this far in the video. I've just kept playing.
Oh, he cleaned off his foot. And he put his shoe back on his foot.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Tail end.
Okay. That's amazing.
Isn't that great? And that's some of the entertainment that you get when you ride a New York subway.
Another reason to love that place.
One time I was on a New York subway and I saw a homeless lady come onto the train, and then she had really long. It was summertime. She had really long, ugly, like dirty dress. She was homeless or something similar to homeless, and she lifted her. She proceeded. I mean, we're all like on there, right? She proceeded to lift her dress up, right, revealing her legs, which had some horrendous skin condition that I've never seen before in my life. And I almost ran away. It was horrible, right?
Yeah.
And she proceeded to go through her book bag that she had carrying with her, and she pulled out like napkins and some kind of like liquid, and she's pouring on the subway. This is like 3 feet from people, right? And just pouring some kind of liquid onto these like napkins and just dabbing her legs feverishly as people are like milling back and forth and like coming on and going and everything. And I was just like, aren't there better places to do this than the subway? Shouldn't the subway be a mode of transportation?
That I really seriously feel a little nausea right now.
And there is one word that I think describes that lady perfectly, and that is selfish. I think that's just absolutely selfish. But I didn't need to see that.
This is true. That wouldn't be the word I would pick, but I could see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, I think it's selfishness.
That's awesome.
It's not because it's not fair to us.
It's not. It actually is very selfish. How rude.
Yes, it is. It's rude.
You should snap a picture of that. I'd like to see that skin condition.
I wanted to, but I was afraid that if I pointed my camera at her, and I did have my camera with me, I was afraid that if I did, it would have gotten strangled with it. I mean, you never know what these people are capable of.
This is true. But you enjoy them.
Yes, well, not that one. That one was just scary. But the shoe licker, I would have been just, that would have made my world.
I don't like them because, frankly, they scare me. It's like you said, you don't know what these people are capable of. I was at Dunkin' Donuts, and a guy came in talking to himself. And when people talk to themselves, that's one of the things I almost could say fear those people more than anybody, because if he's talking to something or somebody that doesn't exist, or another person in his mind, then what does he see when he looks at me? Like, what does he see out of his mind what world is he looking at? Because it might be a world where you go around stabbing people for fun. Like, they're just too nuts for me. It makes me nervous. Puts me on edge.
I like to follow them, or like I like to try to get close because I want to hear what they have to say. I had one crazy guy. I was following one crazy guy once. This is like 15 years ago, and he was I was young. He was talking to the president.
Really?
Yes, he was. And then actually, another time I came by, he was very impressed with the president, I guess. Another time I came by and I saw him again in the same area on a different day. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe I saw him again. I recognized him right away. And he had that one of the telltale signs of a lunatic. He had a neck beard.
Yeah.
You ever see those neck beards
yeah.
where it's just there's no facial hair, just neck beard?
Yeah.
It's like, hey dude, you have a neck and there's hair on it, dude. It's not just your face that grows hair. Anyway, so neck beard is crazy.
I know. Yeah.
And I saw him on the phone. He was on a payphone.
Yeah.
And he was arguing. I mean, he was having a big debate.
Right.
And it was the president of the United States.
Again?
Yes.
Apparently
he was talking to the president of the United States on a payphone.
Damn.
And in like a CVS on Long Island, New York.
That's so awesome. Oh man, I didn't know the president, reached out that far.
Yeah.
Nice of the president to do that. Now, what you reminded me of, and I know I'm bringing it up again, but the neckbeard thing. I was watching Lalo's podcast, the Brochachos, at thebrochachos.com, and he Lalo or somebody brought up a story of a kid who beat his mom and got arrested for assault because she drank his Frappuccino that he had in the fridge. But and his reason, when he tried to reason with the cops, telling him that it wasn't hers, it was his. Like, he bought it the night before, and he was thinking that would be okay.
Yeah.
But she didn't die or anything. He just he got arrested for it. But it wasn't like brutal beating. He hit her, and he definitely had a neck beard and no other facial hair. Pure neck beard.
Just neck beard?
Just neck beard.
Neck beard is crazy.
Yeah. All right, let me read some emails, and then we got to end this baby off here. Nick says, Steve, I thought you might find this story interesting for Nutz at Night. The U.S. copyright group, USCG, is suing 23,000 BitTorrent users that illegally downloaded the movie The Expendables. Not only that, but this suit is now being called the largest illegal downloading case in United States history. It's at Wired.com. Article is biggest BitTorrent downloading case in U.S. history, targets 23,000 defendants.
Wow.
Well, I hope it was worth it, because I heard that movie didn't do that good.
It was good though for like what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna watch The Expendables and expect like Gone with the Wind kind of type of content. You know what I mean? You're expecting short one-liners, lots of muscles, and guys shooting other guys away in ridiculous ways.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, if you're looking for that, you get it there, and it's good.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Kind of like Fast and Furious. If you're looking for cars and fast cars, and that's it, then Fast and Furious. Okay, well, Thank you for that, and thank you, Nick, for the article. You guys can check it out. It's at Wired.com. This is from Zach's, when he says, I didn't get this. Because when Chris is hiding in the bushes during the next crisis, I don't know what he's talking about. If you guys talked about that, or we talked. Anyway, we must have. When Chris is hiding in the bushes during the next crisis, I will be out killing zombies and fixing computers. This is from Ron. Oh, damn, I hate it. When somebody puts a Craigslist post, and then by the time I play it on the show, the posting expired. It was basically a little bike with all kinds of like weaponry attached to it, like real guns. It was pretty awesome. So thank you, Ron, for that. Sorry if I didn't get the Chris joke, but I'm sure it was relevant in some way. Cool, though. Next time I'll try to get it up faster. Thanks, man. Anything you would like to say, Steve D'Amico, before we end the podcast?
Yeah, if anybody would like, I'm pretty busy now, but I can fit you in. If anybody's looking for some advanced laptop repair, I don't just work on DV6000, 9000, and I don't do reflows anymore. I'm getting sick of that. That's gonna stop. I can do motherboard replacements and DC jacks, and I can do them pretty quickly too. So if anybody's interested, needs that kind of service for their business currently, I can do it through the mail, and prices are pretty good too. So you'll be able to make some kind of money on it.
Very nice. Take them up on that. What was I gonna say? I forget. Something about some joke about DV6000s that probably would have bombed anyway. Guys, thanks for tuning in and watching the show. That's going to be it for Nutz at Night tonight, and see you next time.